Greetings, goons and goonettes. Do you like grinding? Do you like to mow down thousands of enemies without batting an eye? And do you like to spend your precious time on Earth collecting virtual rocks to trade for virtual steel and armor? Oh boy, do I have the game for you. Diablo's Path of Exile. A game where the grind isn't just encouraged, it's a legally binding contract. The moment you press download, a pop-up will appear either in the correct platform or in the browser you're using, asking you to fill up a deviously worded DocuSign containing the words time and loot. And the stupid teenage me back in 2016 just clicked OK and signed the contract anyway because I didn't know how to read. Fast forward to today when I look at my hours played and I say to myself, damn, if this is just my Steam hours played, how much more is it? Because I also played on the standalone launcher back in the day. PoE is a free-to-play action RPG hack-and-slash top-down loot goblin simulator released in 2013. Brought to you by GGG, a New Zealand company. The same country that gave us the beautiful landscapes of the Lord of the Rings trilogy and the ultimate war machine, the Bob Semple tank.
In changing gears, the machine will momentarily come to a standstill.
God bless Kiwi Magic. By those alone, you already know that this is gonna be peak. Back in 2012, when Diablo 3 was released, the devs were so disappointed in what they got that they had to make the Diablo 2 sequel they always wanted, with blackjack and hookers.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
So why am I reviewing this 12-year-old game instead of a newer, fresher Path of Exile 2? Because I live in Southeast Asia, and everyone knows that us Southeast Asians don't play games that are priced above free. There are 7 classes you can choose from in the game: the Templar, Shadow, Marauder, Scion, Ranger, Duelist, and Witch. And among those 7 classes, there are also subclasses called Ascendancies that further enhance your playstyle. Every class in the game has a reason to be exiled. The Witch, well, is a witch. The Ranger probably shot some nobleman's pitbull. And the Templar didn't want to touch kids. And because of those heinous crimes, you get exiled to Ray class, the place where Oriath sends everything they don't want in their utopia, where almost everything wants to kill you. From the wildlife, undead, bone chickens, to the homeless degenerates living in the forest playing house chores by Siren Games.
Now on to...
Tarkley, what should I do now? Well, my friend, it seems you must go forth and discover on your own. Outside of town is the Path of Exile. I'm not going to delve deep in the story. It's best if you experience it yourself. But the gist is, you start as level 1 thug to level 68 Godslayer.
May a new dawn arise.
Now on to...
Yes, this game plays like Diablo, but it's more than that. Rather than simplifying the mechanics like what Diablo 3 and 4 did to cater to a broader audience, Path of Exile ramps it up to 100. There are no runes, rubies, and diamonds anymore. There's active skill and support gems instead. Active gems do stuff, and support gems alter what stuff they do. The number of active gems and support gems you can put together is dependent on how many linked sockets your item has. Many people get confused as they just either click next or skip the tutorial entirely and think that the faster attack support gem makes your character attack faster. It doesn't. The sockets must be linked, as indicated here, for a support gem to modify the active gem. Chests and two-handed weapons have a maximum of 6 sockets, while gloves, boots, and helmets have 4. One-handed weapons and shields have 3. So theoretically, you can have 5 support gems and 1 active gem in a chest or two-hander. This is where you would normally put your main attack in your build. Although there are some items that bypass this, typically having a support skill in the item itself. For example, I put Lacerate of Hemorrhage in my chest armor, and I also put this faster attack support gem alongside it. So that means my Lacerate can now attack 30% faster. So following that logic, here's what my setup looks like. Lacerate of Hemorrhage, Swift Affliction, Melee Physical Damage, Brutality, Volatility, and Fortify. The rest of my gear contains my auras and movement skills. Now let's see this in action.
Here comes the pain train. Here comes the pain.
So for your first character, experiment with the skills, see what strikes your fancy, and then socket some support gems to further fancy that fancy. My advice, if you're the I can win type, just experiment. Feel what you want, until you get clapped and can't progress. Then just give in and check PoE Ninja of what builds are popular and copy that instead. There are some really nasty builds out there, some even make you wonder if what you're seeing is still PoE.
My eyes hurt.
The loot is pretty good too. I mean, it has to be. It's an ARPG after all. There's a lot. Sometimes too much that you can't even click to move without picking up trash. But not to worry, the community has your back. Item filters. There's some community-made ones, complete with different colors based on rarity, and even sound effects. You can also make your own. Put some meme sounds in it if you want.
Oh my god.
Filterblade.xyz is the site I use. If there's any others like it, please let me know because I don't know them. Next, we have the skill. Ooh, yeah, it's big. Bigger than Tyrone's. Or even LTG's.
Mods, crush the skull, thank you.
But once you take a good look, read it, and realize that it just looks big because of the veins that contain plus 10 strength or dexterity, you'll feel much more comfortable in taking it all in. But Jay, I hear you ask, how would I know what to build? Simple. The Path of Exile community is always ready to help you with your build. And by that, I mean Google. Simply Google PoE1 character class build brainless or brainless build, and it usually leads you to the build you have in mind. What if I want to change my character build halfway through the campaign? Well, Timmy, the game gives you some points during the campaign that lets you forget some of your decisions. If that's not enough, Path of Exile also has rocks that lets you regret those decisions. Speaking of rocks, the game uses a robust system of them, which serve as both currency and crafting materials. Yes, currency. You can trade with other people in the game. Players can list their items in their stash, set prices, and other players can see it in pathofexile.com/trade. These rocks are random drops from chests, barrels, or from killing. Many of them are rare. Some of them are really, really rare. There's a currency in-game called Mirror of Calandra, in which I have not seen yet myself. I have only seen it through YouTube videos, the wiki, and some arrogant asshole that linked the item to me in chat. That being said, this means that every trade negotiation is a high-stakes financial debate where both parties leave with a vague sense of being scammed. And by debate, I mean passive-aggressively clicking cancel trade, removing your placed currency, then replacing it with one less chaos orb than agreed, without ever saying a word in chat. Need a basic item with tier 3 health and resist rolls that just barely lets you reach the 75% resist cap? That'll be 4 chaos orbs. This is the dollar of the Path of Exile community. You can typically get good mapping gear with a few Cs. So, you send a whisper in-game that you want to buy the item, and most of the time you don't hear anything. No party request, no reply saying that they're busy doing delve and can't leave yet. Just an eerie silence as you stare blankly at your stash, thinking why you're still playing. So you look at the listings again, see a similar item, but now it costs thrice as much, and you hit refresh. But what if you don't want to interact with the market? That's cute. You're going to need to, if you want to go mapping the endgame of Path of Exile, and arguably the 90% of the entire game. I'm not going to get in too deep on how mapping works because frankly, I'm not good at this game. There are much knowledgeable and better players than I out there which can identify the intricacies of each map, which atlas passive to pick, and so on. But in summary, maps is where you grind currency, experience, and items. But what if you want to make the items yourself? Well, you can. That brings us to crafting. Simply take the rock to the appropriate item, and just like our prehistoric ancestors, you bang the rock in place and the craft is done. Rocks alter items. Jeweler's Orb randomizes sockets on an item. Fusings randomizes links on an item. That's right, the keyword here is randomize. Every currency craft in the game is RNG. Chaos Orbs randomizes a rare item. Transmutation Orb turns a normal item into a magic item with random modifiers. Alteration Orbs randomizes the magic item with random modifiers. You get the idea, I think. Good luck trying to chaos spam that jewel you're really looking for, because most likely it isn't gonna go your way. Chest has an extra suffix slot. Thinking of using an exalt? Well, too bad. Now it's trash tier. Now go cry and grind more maps. This is one of the reasons I play PoE. It's like gambling. Seeing your alterations go down from 1,000 to 10 because you really want a perfect cluster jewel pumps my blood up. Maybe this was what my dad felt like when he went gambling. I still remember when he came back home from the casino and he says, "Pack up your things, son. We're moving to a much bigger place called the streets." That being said, the chances of getting a perfect 6-link item are about as likely as winning the lottery while being struck by lightning and getting a call from your ex saying they miss you. So all of that, and it's still free to play? Yes, it is. So how does Path of Exile keep itself afloat if they're free to play? Well, mostly in the form of cosmetic and storage microtransactions. By the time you will need storage microtransactions, you will probably have spent more than probably 20 hours in the game. You really don't need all of these. Most likely, you're all gonna need the currency tab, as there's lots of rocks in the game and it's a quality of life improvement. You're probably gonna also want the premium stash tab if you want to sell something on the market. And cosmetics, you can buy it if you want, and if you can afford it. But you can also earn some cosmetics in-game in the form of league rewards. Leagues are Path of Exile's version of seasons or the ladder for Diablo 2. Every 3 months or so, Grinding Gear Games releases a new league that adds content which ranges from building your own heist crew to fighting ancient gods to whatever this eldritch nightmare is. Every league comes with challenges. Complete these challenges and you earn a reward based on the number of challenges you have completed so far. Some of these are cosmetics, ranging from aura effects, pets, to skins for your armor. It's usually themed around the league itself. There's also a battle pass, but you need to have the premium version if you really want the cosmetics attached to it. I have been playing this game on and off since 2016. What have I been doing with my life? I have been through the Abyss League. I was there when the Immortal Syndicate used to be your friends and sell you hideout decorations, shout out Haku. And let me tell you that Grinding Gear Games have been pumping out content after content with these leagues and they barely disappoint. The newest league on right now is the Settlers of Kalguur, and I think it's the longest one yet. And the best one. You get to manage the town of Kingsmarch using gold you get from grinding maps. Invest that gold, and in turn you'll get some passive income in the form of crops, dust, and items from shipments, and also mappers. Once in a while, you'll get lucky and snag a really good item or a couple chaos and divine orbs in there. If you're a casual player, like me, my advice is to best avoid the map runner portion of Kingsmarch, as they're pretty expensive to maintain, and if they're not high-tiered enough, they'll die running your maps. So would I recommend Path of Exile? Absolutely. This game is perfect for anyone who loves endless suffering, grind, economic collapse, and the thrill of gambling their virtual life savings on a tier 1 fizz damage roll on a steel ring. I give it a 1,550 chaos orbs out of 10 divine orbs. May they never bless your items. Thanks for watching, goons and goonettes, and remember, the grind is eternal, like the eternal labyrinth. This is my first long-form video like this, so yeah, I appreciate if you leave a like, subscribe or something, and I'll try to make more. I have games